Our top story check today takes us to Puerto Rico, where former Governor Wanda Vazquez's case covers 24 recordings and information classified by the National Security. Well, the Federal Department of Justice just delivered the first batch of evidence to the defendants. Our Francis Felix reports.
We have seen an increasing number of allegations about owners and executives.
Agents from the FBI made at least 24 audio recordings during the investigation of the case against former Governor Wanda Vazquez, accused of bribery charges, alongside of bank credit owner Julio Herrera Bellutini and his former advisor Mark Rossini, who was also an FBI agent. A motion was presented by the public ministry to the presiding judge of the federal court in Puerto Rico, Raul Arias Marzuach. The prosecution point out that it has provided the three defendants with initial proof discovery, which consists primarily of a copy of the FBI investigative file and contains approximately 16 gigabytes of data and 24 audio recordings. These recordings will be added to the fact that the indictment stated that the state's evidence include text messages and emails intercepted by federal authorities. The prosecutor of the Public Integrity Division of the Department of Justice in Washington, Nicholas Cannon, said in the motion that in the next 14 days they will deliver additional materials in the discovery of evidence. The evidence will include transcripts of testimony offered by witnesses. Due to the amount of material in the discovery of evidence delivered and that remains to be produced, no hearings will be held for at least 70 days so that the defense have time to review the evidence. On the other hand, the prosecution informed the judge that it will file a separate motion under the Classified Information Procedures Act. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, the Classified Information Procedures Act is applied as a precaution against the unauthorized disclosure of classified information during the case. Reporting from San Juan, Puerto Rico, Francis Felix.
And switching gears now to an update to a story we brought you earlier this week about a U.S. woman killed in a shark attack while on a cruise in the Bahamas. Her name was 58-year-old Carolyn DePlacido, a beloved member of her community in Pennsylvania in the city of Erie. While snorkeling with her family in Green Key off Nassau, she was attacked and fatally wounded by a bull shark. According to an international database, there were 137 shark incidents last year. 73 were unprovoked. Experts are surprised it happened in a popular snorkeling spot, but they say sharks can mistake swimmers or surfers for food. While police in the Bahamas say she suffered bites in her upper extremities and was never revived.
When you're on the surface, particularly if you're wearing black or splashing around, you could be perceived as a fish in distress or even a seal. And sharks are programmed to eat seals.
EMS personnel responded and they confirmed no vital signs of life.
Now, at least 2 people were killed and multiple injured on Wednesday during an anti-government protest in Haiti. For the third week in a row, thousands of Haitians took to the streets to call on Prime Minister Ariel Henry to step down as the country's going through crippling economy, high inflation, and gang violence. Protesters started fires, blocked roads, and threw rocks at businesses and gas stations. While police were doing their best to keep order and tame the chaos, they fired tear gas and live rounds to break the crowds. Haiti has been going through an energy crisis for over a year now. Facing weeks of protests and crumbling coalition, Prime Minister Ariel Henry left Haiti recently for Miami, where he will meet with investors who are interested in investing in Haiti. That was according to a tweet from his office. Now, according to CNN, the organizers accused the police of killing at least 2 people. And meantime, the Bahamian government has taken steps to try and soften the blow of inflation, but they are facing questions on if the relief is really trickling down to consumers. Our One Caribbean Deandra Hamilton reports.
While the Bahamian government said it has made many concessions to help offset and cushion the burdensome impact of inflation, which has rocketed by double figures and severely impacted the buying power of the dollar and households in a very negative way, media officials had questions about the government passing on those savings.
Where is the government in terms of laying some of the fares and some of the concerns and some of the burden on the backs of the Bahamian people? And what is the status of the negotiations with regards to further reduction in import duty?
According to the Office of the Prime Minister of the Bahamas, it is incumbent upon the media and the public to not just hear what the government is saying, but to ensure that they are getting the savings from the stores at which they shop.
That's the kind of question and pressure we ought to be putting on retail operators and owners. The government said that they've put this relief in place so that it can be on so the Bahamians can feel the relief. Where can you tell us are the relief in your items?
That was Press Secretary for the Bahamas, Clint Watson. He was speaking at a recent conference. Watson stressed that it is the responsibility of wholesalers and retailers to ensure that their consumers benefit from the concessions made by government.
Because the relief is being put there by the government, now they have a responsibility to pass that relief on.
Earlier this month, the Bahamas National Statistical Institute reported that the All Items Index for June 2022 recorded a surge of 6.2% year over year. The institute branded this as the largest change recorded for the Bahamas in recent years, with the impact particularly pronounced in food and gasoline prices. On a year-over-year basis, consumers paid 33.5% more for gasoline, while diesel saw a 32.1% increase, contributing significantly to consumer inflation in the Bahamas.
And that was our Deandra Hamilton reporting there. Well, meantime, Jamaica has recorded 2 additional cases of monkeypox, bringing the total to 9. According to authorities, the latest case has been classified as locally transmitted in a male and a female, both of whom are isolated at home. The patients had no recent travel history or confirmed link to the previously announced cases, and parish health departments have commenced contact tracing. But even as the number of cases is increasing in the country, health authorities are indicating that while vaccines have been promised through a collaboration with the Pan American Health Organization, there is no guarantee that the island will actually get the amount of doses promised. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says initially it was expected that 3,500 doses of the monkeypox vaccine would arrive in Jamaica before the end of the month, but he said the batch could be smaller because of high global demand.
We're in a line, basically. Other countries, particularly more powerful developed countries, tend to be ahead of us, as has been the case in the past. In an effort to maximize the use of the vaccine and achieve the objectives for containment, Cabinet has given approval for the administering of the vaccine in this phase as a post-exposure prophylaxis. What this means, Madam Speaker, and it's important that this Parliament and the public understands this very clearly, is that the vaccine, once in country, will be administered to only persons who come into close contact with a diagnosed patient, with someone who contracted monkeypox. So persons based on the contact tracing who would have been exposed to an individual with the virus, which is why it's called post-exposure prophylaxis, as opposed to pre-exposure.